Clintonville Area Commission to order, so thank you for being here. Before we get started, are there any additions or edits to the agenda from commissioners? All those in favor, I'll move that we use the agenda. All those in favor, aye? Aye. Any opposed? Excellent. Before we kick off, I just want to make a note, we do have a camera recording right there in the aisle, so just be mindful of any conversation, it will get picked up. And before we dive into our district updates, if everyone who is able and willing could go ahead and stand, we'll face the flag and say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Before we dive into district updates, I do want to note a couple guests. I would like to say, I won't out you too much, but I want to say thank you to our Boy Scout back there, Everett Wilcox, for coming tonight. And I see Senator DeMora as well. Thank you for joining us this evening. Did you have an update you wanted to share? I want to be mindful.
Yeah, whenever you're ready to.
Feel free to jump in. Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. State Senator Bill DeMora, 25th District. I have, half of Clintonville, a third of Clintonville. It keeps changing every year. I have the west side of High Street up till Cook, and then I go the east side of High Street, and I have all of Northland, and I have Old Beach Wall. So I have some of Clintonville. I used to have more of it until last year. Just want to give a couple updates. The capital budget, we're going to find out tomorrow what the capital budget process is. So there'll be one form this year for both House and Senate, which is the first time that's ever happened. I don't know why. But after tomorrow, my office will know what the process is to fill out to get capital budget money. I've already been told the capital budget's going to be nowhere like it was 2 years ago because there's going to be COVID money left over. So a lot of projects aren't going to get funded, but you still have applied for them. I know that I will do my best with Representative Russo and or Representative Abdahali or Senator Liston or Senator Craig, whoever else has part of this district. I know we go back into session next week for the first time since we had 1 day of session in December to screw up the marijuana law that everybody passed. We haven't been really in session at committees since before Thanksgiving. Of course, I'm in the State House every day, but my colleagues decide that because they don't want to come in. A lot of stuff on the agenda coming up. There's going to be a couple more property tax things coming up. The Senate Democrats proposed a bunch of stuff about trying to rein in data centers. Just a press conference yesterday that's going to be introduced the next couple of weeks. I introduced legislation last week about having bars have to have test strips for drink spiking. Obviously, it's a big problem on campus right now, and I worked with Ohio State, and I think they're going to start the process even before this bill would even get a hearing. But it's something that happens, unfortunately, all too often across the state. Other things, if I have a question, I'd rather answer them instead of just listing off all 300 some bills we're going to have to hear between now and the end of June. So, also, I'll give you an update about, obviously, I've been vocal with what's going on with ICE in Columbus because most of the Somali population in the city is in my district, whether it's on the west side or up in Northland. I was at the Northland Area Commission Tuesday, I think, it was Tuesday. ICE is here. We think we're going to get more ICE because they're leaving Minnesota, supposedly. I think I've been at least 12 or 13 people from Central Ohio have been arrested. Some of them have been sent to the Butler County Jail. Myself and Representative Seacrest and Representative Cockley wrote a letter to Department of Rehab and Correction about what the conditions of the Butler County Jail are, which were bad. Supposedly they've actually got heat now, but they didn't have heat when this whole process started. But obviously you do not have to, no matter what they say on the news, you do not have to open your door if they don't have a warrant. You have rights. You shouldn't speak to them. You should talk to an attorney. And everybody should, if you see something happening, videotape it. That's the best thing to do is videotape it because that way there's proof if there's something going on. Columbus police are not helping ICE. I mean, everybody, that was a big thing at Northland and a big thing at the Hilltop Area Commission last month. Columbus police is not allowed to help ICE. Mike will know about this, obviously, as well. They are not helping ICE. They're helping if they're protests and crowd control. Protesting ICE is Columbus police job to make sure they people don't go in the streets or aren't somewhere they're supposed to, but they are not helping ICE at all. And the Franklin County Jail is not housing any ICE, the sheriff, they're not hiring anybody in Franklin County. Butler County's got most of them, but Noble County, some other smaller counties, because ICE pays well to have their prisoners in there, and a lot of these smaller counties need that to keep the jail upkeep. But so that's up there I have about ICE. Again, anything else, if I have any questions on it, if the chair wants me to answer them, I certainly will.
Senator, do you know about the delay of the temporary protected status for Haitian population?
Yeah, well, the federal judge ruled on it. It's still part of it. There's still protective status. The judge, if you read that decision, ripped Christy Nome something fierce. So I don't think that judge is going to be convinced that it should be removed anytime soon. They might go to an appellate court and try to get that stay overturned, but I don't think she's in any mood to get it. And of course, he's just completely subserving what Congress did and things like that. I mean, they just don't care what they're doing. They decided when to do it. I actually met with Representative Seacrest and Cockley with Congressman Kerry. Kerry. I don't mind thinking about Congressman Kerry because he has the west side part of the district where they started and were more active at the beginning. And he tried to go, and ICE doesn't really talk to him either. He is allowed to, except although the judge put a stay on that, but at one time, any member of Congress could go visit any place ICE prisoners were being held, and we tried to convince him to go down there to Butler County, but then a judge took away that power so that members of Congress can't show up and do that, because I talked to Congressman Beatty about the same thing, but by the time I talked to them, that ability was taken away, so neither of them got down to do it. Several of my colleagues have tried to get to Butler County, they get turned away, so all we've been relying on is the attorneys for some of the people held in Butler County, as well as Chris, who's helping a lot of the people. They've given us these updates. And I think what we did to DRC to make at least the Butler County Jail have heat now, they're still in non-compliance about what they're serving at Warden Burgers. This guy down there is trying to be Joe Arpaio, the guy from Phoenix, trying to be with his cowboy hat and his mustache. He thinks he's one of Trump's best friends. He's an idiot. So the conditions got a little better, so we brought light to this. We're still on DRC to do unannounced inspections because, of course, if you give somebody 48 hours to fix things, they're gonna. I mean, unless you're really stupid, you're gonna fix these things so you don't get against code. But so that's about all I know about that. But there's still protection orders still in place, and they cannot do anything with Haitians or any other group right now because they're still in protective status.
Thank you.
So,
do any other commissioners have questions for Senator DeMora?
Thanks for that, Dave.
Any neighbors have questions for Senator DeMora? Really appreciate you being here. If you're not signed up for his newsletters his office puts together, they're very informative and they come out frequently, so I would encourage you to sign up for his email list.
you just email DeMora, I don't have Senate.gov, and just ask say newsletter or whatever you want to do. And my office actually responds to them, unlike most of my colleagues, Democrat or Republican. So
they are very responsive. Thank you, Senator. We'll go ahead and move along to area commissioner updates, and we'll start with Commissioner Moritz.
Mark Moritz, District 6. I participated in the training for city attorney from the city attorney's office. It was good in terms of, it was a good refresher. I also attended the special meeting from the Planning and Development Committee where we had representatives from zoning, and that was also very useful in terms of getting a good explanation of how the economic growth strategy fits in with everything that's happening. I also responded to an email from a resident about the sump pump from a neighbor that goes out on the street and then it freezes over. And since I've seen that in other parts of the neighborhood, it's quite dangerous. I followed up with Stacy, and Stacy followed up with the Division of Water. And they recommended to put in a 311 request, as it would cause maybe either there's an underground stream or there's a leak. And so they can detect the leak if there's chlorine in the water. I'm not sure how they're going to figure out that it's the underground stream. So one of the things I learned from the city attorney office is there's the back door and there's the front door. So Stacy is my back door, helping connecting with people in the Division of Water, and then the front door is submitting those 311 requests so that it gets on the record and people can follow up. The other update is, on the agenda is traffic safety later. I live on Dealand Avenue where North High Street makes a little bend. You think that bend doesn't make a lot of a difference, but in the last year there have been multiple cars going off the road on the sidewalk, hitting a house, hitting street lights. It happens over and over and it goes both ways. And so also at Kemba, that's been hit multiple times because cars going off the road. It's either people who are drunk, driving too fast, or high. And it remains very dangerous. And so speed is one of the main reasons why there's damage and people get hurt or killed. So still want to keep us working towards slower streets here. But those are my thoughts.
Thank you. Commissioner Miller.
Yep, Drew Miller, District 9. I also did the city attorney training last week. It was really informative. Good to just kind of refresh on some of those topics. The other thing I did this week, I attended a briefing of the Fairfield and Lancaster, Fairfield County and Lancaster housing study. There was a lot of regional information shared at that study, and I had a lot of takeaways from it. I have that study, and I'm happy to share it with anybody if you're interested in taking a look at that. But I won't dive too much into the details. But like I said, there was a lot of regional talk in that study, and I think it's very applicable to this as well.
Thank you. Commissioner Sasser.
Yes, Angela Sasser, District 4. I also attended the city attorney training and then the meeting with the Rotary Club. And other than that, that was right.
Thank you. Commissioner Bolton, District 5, Central Clintonville. We will cover the Rotary meeting later this evening. I attended that as well as the special planning development meeting where we had the zoning conversation about the Columbus growth strategy and a really good discussion there. Also attended the public sunshine training put on by the city last week, and I feel like there was more. I've just been working with committee chairs to put together the slates for our committees, and thankful for all the volunteers that we'll be approving this evening. Commissioner Wada.
Paul Lutta, District 1, South Clintonville. I attended the same session, the Rotary Club and the Commissioner training as well. They're all very informative and looking forward to the Rotary discussion later. That's it.
Commissioner Platt.
Had a meeting with one of the owners of King's Lounge. There had been some complaints about late night disturbances and also some trash and other issues that a number of neighbors had concerns with. Met also in the meeting, also the Clintonville Area Business Association was present, or at least two of their representatives. I think we had a really good conversation. It sounds like the issues resulted from like two events that occurred in November. At least as of now, I believe that like the owner is like committed to addressing those concerns. And but obviously if there are additional concerns, like folks should report them and should be addressed as they come up. Any new business is going to have some challenges with navigating the initial like entry point, and that space has been empty for, I don't want to say a decade, but probably close to it. So it was very appreciative from my vantage point that something went in there, and frankly, I didn't know what it was. I don't smoke, and I thought it was maybe a cigar lounge, but apparently it's basically a hookah bar. The owners are Eritrean and broadly service like communities that are see hookah lounges as a community space. It's a really cool space that anyone can rent out, and like in a environment where we don't have a lot of like community spaces, like would encourage folks to like consider that as a place. Like, and at least when I was in there, like there were no hookahs out there, and like doesn't smell like hookah. So like if you're not a smoker, like can definitely still be used as like a space for comedy shows, yada yada. Have also had a number of conversations with, I think, the president of Cup of Joe and Stoffs and some of the situations related to some social media related to that, and I've also spoken to a number of the workers there. So there are ongoing conversations about how to address the initial kind of like social media debacle, and also what's come of that is a desire from the workers to have more to say and input on decisions, not just about something like the ICE raids, but also more broadly about their working conditions. And so what's been really nice is there seems to be some interest in collaboration between management and the workers on coming to a just solution on that point, and probably in the next month can give future updates on how that develops. Also attended the Evict Private Equity meeting that happened yesterday at the downtown library. There was a very informative discussion about how outside equity has engineered both rental prices and made it basically hard for whether you're a first-time home buyer, a renter, or like a small business owner that, or someone who manages small rental properties. So I think there are going to be attempts to address some of the kind of draconian behavior that private equity has done to our housing market. And I think we're early in those conversations, but my hope is we can bring Jordan, who's been leading that effort, here in the coming months to kind of explain the proposal about how do we make sure that we have housing for everybody, and in a way that's like equitable. And the really cool thing from my perspective was that like it could lead to some interesting alliances that are not traditional. So small banks, the real estate lobby, the first-time home buyers and renters, we all have an interest in not making sure that capital exploits our neighborhoods in ways that are not favorable for our own interests. And then I guess the only other thing, so I was invited to a meeting of a series of area commission leaders. I think there were about 10 area commissions present. And there is almost certainly in the coming weeks going to be a robust plan to reform our city government so that we have actual elections where things aren't selected before we get there. There's already been a lot of resources promised, and some that have already come in. And so I'm excited that there's basically a coalition of area commissioners, leaders from a number of different communities to make sure that we actually have competitive elections. And I frankly don't care if you're a Democrat or a Republican. We all know that all of our city council members have basically been selected by a small group of special interests. And we know that there are multiple positions that deserve a say. And I think that there are for instance, probably 25% of our electorate is Republican. And then there is lots of different groups that want a say. And I will say that we have folks, both Andrew Ginther and Shannon Harden, who are going to be running for mayor, at least for right now. My guess is their bosses will eventually make them pick one. But while that hasn't been decided, we have an opportunity to make sure that we actually have free and fair elections in the city. And I am excited that there's such a broad coalition coming together, and that the resources will be there to make sure that what has occurred for basically multiple generations in the city is coming to an end. For those who don't know,
Okay, well, this is district update time, not like grandstand time. I appreciate so much the feedback that we've got to get through a lot of an agenda. So can you put a bow on it, please?
I'm almost done.
Great.
So give me a second. I'm sorry if you may have a different opinion.
No, it's not about the opinion, it's about the business we have to get through, and it's about, this is district update, not political speech time.
No, I'm saying that this is important for.
Okay, please finish the comment, and I'm gonna move on, because I'm the chair of the meeting.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Fair enough. And so I'm excited about where that's going.
Thank you very much. Commissioner Arnold.
Hi, I'm in District 2, and I am on Milton and West North Broadway, so there's always the consideration of the bike path, whether it was at Milton, West North Broadway, or where it's used. So that's always a concern, and we're working through that, I know, and everybody wants safety to be a priority. Also with the snowstorm, with a snowstorm burn, it was just businesses making sure that the sidewalks were cleared, and I know that that's not always feasible or possible, and we're doing the best we can. So that was just an issue that was brought up as well. And then just with ICE coming in more, and thank you, Senator, for being here, just how we work with the city police and making sure that protesters are safe and people at risk are safe. So there's going to be issues that happen. So.
Commissioner Wyman.
Michael Wyman, District 7, nothing to report.
Before we move on to our past meeting minutes, I would like to pause and go slightly out of order. I noticed that Christopher Clark is here from the city attorney's office with a very young neighbor. So if you wanted to do your update now out of agenda order in case you need to get home for bedtime or anything, I wanted to offer you that opportunity.
That's very kind. Christopher Clark, City Attorney's Office. I am back from paternity leave. This is Maya, the newest Clintonville resident, as of October 30th. I just had any updates you wanted to provide me, feel free to email me. I have had conversations with the owner of King's Lounge. He actually reached out back in September about noise violations and what that entailed. So we're to give him what the updates on the law and the community noise ordinance. But if you have any questions, feel free to email me. And as long as she's okay, I'll stick around for a little bit longer, just so community members can ask me questions about what's going on. But thank you. I appreciate it.
Welcome back. Any questions for Mr. Clark from commissioners? Any questions from neighbors? All right, thanks. Glad you're back. Okay, we'll go back to the agenda as in order, and I'll toss it over to Commissioner Moritz for approval of past meeting minutes.
I shared the minutes. I think I heard back from a few saying that everything looked okay. Everything was okay.
Motion to pass our January meeting minutes.
Motion.
Motion. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions?
There's no other minutes.
Yes, I would like to move. So we had a meeting with the Clintonville Rotary Club that we'll recap later on. But as a matter of just procedure, I would like to move that those minutes that I circulated after the meeting are approved. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Any abstentions?
I abstain.
Thank you. One abstention from Commissioner Wyman. Commissioner Miller will have our treasurer's report.
Just one expense last month. Thank you, Stephen and Stacy, for coordinating. We did acquire the domain Clintonville.ac. The registration for that was about $100. So I believe, fiscal year ends March 31st, so we have $1,393.11 left.
Do we have any planned expenditures at this point for postage or otherwise?
Not postage, but I think you need to vote to approve that. Actually, the commit, I'm the one who paid the $29 for
Oh,
it.
did you? Okay.
So, because I wanted to get it while it was there, so to approve that.
We can vote to approve that expense. We can get
Yeah.
Chair Hardwick reimbursed. So that is a great opportunity, I think, and we will have the opportunity to create email addresses associated with that, so we'll have consistent naming.
I was just looking at email plans, and if you want at least several people to do it, it'll probably be about $100 a year for email plan. If you have that, that might be worth approving so that Stacy can use their P card if you still have the money in your budget.
Okay, so we are voting to spend roughly $129 on email domains and the website domain.
Right. Rough, yeah.
Roughly $129.
Those have to be accepted.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Can we finish any of the same? Okay, sure. Question from Commissioner Latta.
Does that mean we can get our email for each commissioner from that domain?
It
Rather
depends
than using Gmail or something?
It depends on how much you want to pay for that. I'm just looking at Namecheap, which is where I bought it through, and it says for 5 email accounts, it's $72 a year, but for 10 email accounts, it goes up to a lot. It goes up to $270 a year. There may be cheaper ways of doing that. What I can do is coordinate with. I can't ask you all, but Andrew and Commissioner Chair Bolton about what would work. And one of them I want to be zoning, because I'm trying to get my name off of that so that this is a CAC account, not a Stephen Hardwick account. We can talk about what the other things where we want to be a chair, or are there only a few of you might want it.
Yeah, so my opinion on that is we obviously don't have to decide tonight, but I would suggest that we do the 4 email addresses so that, one, we can all have consistent naming conventions, just make it easier for everybody, but then also zoning, and then all of our other committees could all have that same @Clintonville.ac. And, we still have $13 left over, or $1,300 left over this year.
That needs spent down by March 31st. So I had another meeting. So for those who haven't worked with our tech and PR, we have struggled greatly to keep up our website and social. We're working with Ellie Knowles for years. She was on contract with us. She did we have a WordPress website. She did the security fencing. She handled the commissioners at Clintonville, areacommission.org account, so that it would go out to everybody no matter how many times we changed. She's trying to step away from servicing our contract. And I had a meeting with Mandy Minnick, who is a Clintonville resident that runs Minnick Public Relations and also is a very active member of Clintonville Area Business Association, understands our work well, I think might even be a city vendor. She was checking in to see whether that was still current. But if we have funding left over, I would like to offer a limited contract to her to clean up our website, clean up the document library, fix the things that I don't know how to do on WordPress, because we've clearly had a hard time over the last couple of years trying to get that volunteer capacity beefed up. And I think we need somebody with a little bit more technical experience than me to bring in there. So I would like, her fee is $100 an hour. I don't think she needs all 13 hours, but if we wanted to offer her 5 to 8 hours of work, I think she could get our website back up to a good baseline that we could then shepherd or steward. Do folks have questions about that, concerns about that?
No, I think that would be great, just to get access to people and everybody knows how to contact us, and I think that's valuable.
Very much. Yeah, I am at the very limits of what I could do. I was able to set up 5 accounts for a PTA once, and that took a lot of time for me to figure out if she can help figure that out, especially with passwords, and so that everyone has their own password, but someone has a centralized access to it. That would be best.
So I would move that we spend some of our remaining budget. I can get a proposal from her on exactly how many hours she would like to put into the website and circulate it for our March meeting, but so that she could start the work now, could we move that she begins doing some website cleanup, assuming that she gets certified with the city vendor protocol?
I have a question for Stacey.
Yeah.
I think you had mentioned at our last meeting that in order to utilize our fiscal year funds, we might have to get those expenses in earlier rather than later.
Some word around that.
Okay.
She kind of looks at us. She just needs to give me an invoice, and I can use the P card to pay her without her being a city vendor.
Okay.
Kind of like the same thing as if we ordered from Amazon and I paid Amazon with the P card. So she doesn't have to be a city vendor unless she's looking for reimbursement, which we don't have to do that. I just have your credit card and I can pay her directly. So if you want to do that, that's fine. Whatever you guys decide, how many hours you want to, use her for, she just sends me that information, I'll pay for it and send you guys the receipt.
So can I suggest that we decide how many email addresses we want to use, and then whatever's remaining, we buy that time from her, the remainder of her fund.
I think that's a great use of funds unless commissioners have another competing expense.
I would like to see the proposal for fully doing.
Okay.
I would second that.
Seeing the proposal. Great.
I guess I didn't answer your question, it gets done faster.
Well, I just want to make sure we could use these funds.
Yeah, I can
This
use
year,
that a lot
yeah.
faster, using it through the P card, then we don't have to worry about that card deadline of approval. As long as the commission approves.
So,
Just for clarity, because I also would like to see it, but I also understand we've got a really short timeline here. Will we have time at the next meeting to do that?
we can set it up to vote on at the March meeting. She won't be able to start any work in February, so our website will continue looking janky until March. So if we're all okay with that.
Yeah, but to answer your question, it will be a lot quicker because once you get the approval, I probably would be able to get the P card the next day because the next day is Friday. But that next week I can get it before she can begin.
I can get, she'll get a proposal to us before the next meeting, no problem.
February is the shortest month.
That's right. She's ready though. We talked about scope of work last week. Okay. Any other items for, yeah,
Was there guidance on what you wanted us to do for email accounts?
maximize
Maximize.
the package with a conversation with me and Drew. And we'll decide on the final package.
Somewhere between 10 and 15 probably. If I had to guess, but I would say, 9 for us, 1 for you, and then
Cheers.
see, how many other committees need that.
Do we have the authority to do that, or do we need to come back to you next month?
As long as you vote on kind of like the concept of what you're talking about, you should be fine. You don't need like a specific amount, you just say, we authorize. Correct.
Would you like to suggest a cap? Would anyone like to suggest a cap? Keep it under $500. There's no way it's gonna get that close. Just
I don't know. Well, web work is so.
I'll move that we expand our email domains and keep it under $500. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Any abstentions?
You needed a second.
Would you like to be my second?
I'd be happy.
Thank you so much for seconding, and we'll go ahead with the all aye, no opposition. Thank you. Anything else from our treasurer? Thank you so much. I am happy to share that despite much effort at promoting the opportunity to take on the CAC Green Team, we have not found new volunteers, and Ryan Foshi and Annalise Kern have offered to continue serving as co-chairs of the Green Team. I'm going to appoint them as chair, but they moved this slate of folks who are largely involved already on the Green Team. As a reminder, the Green Team is not like our Zoning and Variance Committee where they're voting on recommendations and sending them back to us. Our Green Team primarily serves to work on planning the Columbus Arbor Fest, create projects like the pollinator garden at the Station 19 Firehouse, the pollinator garden over at Reward Park. Are there any Green Team members in the room tonight that would like to share more about your volunteer work? Okay. So I would like to move that we accept the slate of volunteers that Ryan and Annalise developed and shared to continue volunteering. Again, this is fluid. Folks come and go throughout the year at different projects, litter pickups, kick butt days, and things like that as well. Is there a second to approve this
I'll second
slate? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Great, thank you so much. They'll be thrilled to continue doing good work. And next, I'll turn it over to our Elections Committee Chair. Elections Committee Chair Melissa Dahl, who also shared her slate of candidates with us for the Elections Committee.
Sure. So we have 4 people interested this year. One is Sarah Snyder, returning. She's a resident of District 2. She's also a former CAC commissioner. She's lived in Clintonville for 22 years and would like to continue to serve the community. Jan Patton is District 6. She's lived in Clintonville for 39 years, another longstanding election committee member. She'd like to continue serving the community. A couple of new people. Haley Fournier of District 7. She's lived in Clintonville since 2022. With her fiance and 2 cats. She wanted that in her bio. She's a Bowling Green State University graduate, poli-sci in history, heavily involved in political organizations in college, and that kind of plays into her interest in this committee. She's currently program manager for the National Kidney Foundation. And then 4th person is Julie Kimmett of District 2. She's lived in District 2 with her partner and 2 boys who go to Clinton Elementary. She's an election poll worker for Franklin County, and she'd like to help out with the next election. So that's a great slate for this year. Looking forward to working with them.
Wonderful. Any questions for Chair Dahl from Commissioners? Any questions from neighbors? I will move that we accept the slate of the Elections Committee. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Congrats on your committee, and thanks again for leading them this year. Next up, I will go ahead and share the Planning and Development Committee roster. The new chair, Jacob Miller, who has been serving on the committee, is out ill this evening, but he wanted to share the attached bios of folks. Again, largely folks who are continuing to serve, all Clintonville residents, and some really great backgrounds of folks who are planners by trade and have a really technical understanding of the built environment in our neighborhood. I don't think we have anybody in here from P&D right now who might want to speak to their work, but I fully support this slate that Jacob has put together, and I would like to move that we accept these volunteers who, again, are not voting on items like our zoning variance committee, but more taking surveys of public, when we talk about our traffic study and things like that, like we did at the Rotary Club, they would manage some of our public survey work and really any work that the commission guides them to do as well in their scope. So I move that we accept the slate that Jacob has identified. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? I'll share that with Jacob, and I will pass it over to Chair Stephen Hardwick of our Zoning and Variance Committee.
We have a full slate of 8. We started, I think 6 people initially applied, and Michael Hall was a day late, but he's thankfully we still could keep him on. With that left one position for a new position, and I contacted the commissioners from District 7, 8, and 9 because we don't have any members, and that's a huge section of town. Eventually, the one I recommend, and I want to apologize for my cut and paste here because it's the most important one, is Paul Beck. I just sent you and Paul an email with the information for Paul Beck, although I did send it to those 3 commissioners. He's a transportation engineer for the State Department, for ODOT. But we thought that, and he lives on East Jeffrey Place in District 8. I think having a traffic engineer and that expertise on the committee would be helpful to be able to ask the right questions. And by the way, and he did assure me that he had nothing to do with the North Broadway crossing. So that's not part of his job. If something does come up with ODOT, he might have to recuse himself. That's unlikely. He get it approved by his general counsel's office. So that leaves, I think we had 3 people, including me from District 3, 1 from District 1, 2 4, 5, and 6 is in addition to that.
How many are returning and how many are new this year?
Only one is new, and that,
All.
well,
I really appreciate how much effort you put into getting representation from as many of the commission districts as you could. Do folks have questions for Chair Hardwick about his committee roster?
I did have 3 people reach out to me via Facebook, and I shared your email address with them. They expressed interest, but this was just earlier this week, so I told them to try and contact you, and I'm not sure if anybody did.
well, I think you'll notice a significant overlap between the people listed who we didn't choose and the planning and development roster. I think a lot of them decided to go over to planning and development. I don't know if they were District 9 or not. I remember I did get like someone from District 6 and other people who didn't live in the district. I gave you the names of, if they're on that list.
Yeah, I didn't see them on there, so I wasn't sure if they followed through and reached out to you or not, but just wanted to let you know that.
If you could send me their names to make sure that I didn't mess something up, if they did, I'll apologize. I don't think I did.
Okay.
Chair Hardwick, I just want to thank you for your thoughtful work. It's thankless, and so I just appreciate your continued service for both the commission and the community.
Well, I'll move that we accept the slate that Chair Hardwick has put together for zoning and variance for 2026. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Same sign. Any abstentions? Good. Congratulations on your roster, and thank you again for putting together such a thoughtful group.
Chair,
Yes, sir.
if we could have those bios ahead of time in the future?
Absolutely.
Thought did you not get them?
No, I got yours. You didn't get everybody else's.
I think that is my error. I think some of the rosters came my way, and I had a busy work and personal week. And I'll make sure they go out after this meeting. From the city of Columbus, we heard from city attorney's office. I wanted to first offer up Mark Tervillis with the Zone In initiative.
Yeah, thanks, Chair Bolton.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
We'll leave a few cards here, the Zone In card, and maybe I'll just step over here to try to address everybody. I'm Mark Tervillis with the City of Columbus Development Department. I'm the Planning Division Administrator, and have a quick update on the city's Zone In effort. I'll read my script a little bit, but try to look up. So we're continuing our work on Zone In, which hopefully you've heard of as the city's effort to update its 70-year-old zoning code. We did phase 1, was adopted last summer, and then we've been working on phase 2. As you may have heard, we needed a policy basis for phase 2. So we are in the process of creating the city's first citywide land use plan in order to be the policy basis for phase 2. So on January 26th, City Council adopted the Columbus Growth Strategy, which includes the Columbus Land Use Plan, which covers currently about 50% of the city. So that's the portion that was phase 1 and the portion that's phase 2. Phase 2 primarily is addressing industrial areas, employment centers, and some mixed-use areas. So appreciated the opportunity to present at the Planning and Development Committee I know a few of you were there, and as we said there, it is really the portion of phase 2 that affects Clintonville is about, I think it's like in the ballpark of 6% of the neighborhood, and that was really highly informed by your existing Clintonville plan. You will hear more from us at which point we get to phase 3, which will tackle the rest of the neighborhood. So we now have immediately started to work on the zoning part. So the zoning action will build on the land use plan that was adopted. And we started that now, the day after council adopted the land use plan, and we'll be doing it this spring and this summer. A few highlights is in March. Chair Bolton, you may have heard, and perhaps Stephen, and I think the planning committee chair, we're going to reach out to do one-on-ones if you all are available in March, just to check in. We found that really valuable recently, what we've done with a variety of chairs. And then in April, also in March, we will do a webinar for commissioners So that we have scheduled for March 31st at 6:30. You'll get an email on it if you haven't already. The email will come from zoningupdate@columbus.gov. So that is specifically for commissioners. Again, March 31st at 6:30. And then in April, somebody from staff will come back for another quick update, probably will be me. And then we'll lead into late spring and early summer, at which point we'll start to see a draft code. So there'll be a public input period on the draft code. We'll do a citywide webinar. We'll have a gallery downtown. If you remember during phase one, we had a gallery. It's kind of a one-stop shop for everything on Zone N. There'll be a survey, multiple public hearings, and this will all lead to city council consideration. And all along, we'll send out email via zoningupdate@columbus.gov. And those cards have that address, so anybody, there's a few there, you can grab that. Or if not, it's zoningupdate@columbus.gov. Sign up, please. You'll get the information. You can follow our website, social media to keep up to date. So just last note, we won't come to March. We'll be back in April. Email the email address at any point with any questions, and staff will monitor it daily. So just that quick update. Happy to answer any questions you may have.
Commissioner Platt?
So, eventually, like, it left Facebook, but there was a period in which there was like a push-pull that had been like through, I think, the Department of Development around basically trying to validate basically the city's plans. How can we get the results of that?
Okay.
And just like if anyone like in the public, if you look at that from a polling standpoint, it was certainly just like to validate an outcome you already wanted. But I'm just wondering, where could I find that, and where could I find the results, and also like who like approved that? Because I would love to like show that to like any polling person.
We're happy to talk about it, and really email zoningupdate@columbus.gov, and you request the survey, the data, the whole bit, and we'll get it to you.
So I'm sorry, email.
Here.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Any other questions from commissioners? Any questions from neighbors? All right, thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome.
tonight.
Thanks for having me. I'm going to duck out. Excuse me. Good to see you all. We'll see you.
We'll see you in the spring. Yeah.
Yes. Hopefully, much better in April. Okay. Good night, y'all.
Ms. Bill from Department of Neighborhoods.
Oh, good evening. That was lovely.
So thank you. I just want to go over, I sent these earlier, just some updates, more resources this month. I personally want to thank the Area Commission for the strong turnout for the City Attorney's Office training. I bragged because we were, percentage-wise, this Area Commission was more than any of my colleagues once. So I had some bragging rights, so thank you for attending that. Also, Suzanne and I have started this year Grounds for Conversation, which is on the third Friday of every month. And it'll be at various locations in the neighborhoods that we serve. Our first one was at El Carriggio in Italian Village, where we had Tiara Ross, the new council member. She was there, and then also, like, after she spoke, then we met with various different residents of that area. And you don't have to be in the town villages for everyone who would like to come. Our next one is planned for February 20th. From 1 to 3, our plans are not finalized yet, but it will be at the Northside Library, which is, I forget the address, however, it's just south of campus, right near the Kroger there. I'm doing a bad job. 7th and High. Is it 7th? It's King. It's north of King. It is north of King. Yeah, so somewhere around there. However, once we get everything finalized, you will get an invitation in your email. We are working on getting someone from public service to come and further explain the snow removal process, as well as the snow and ice plan for Columbus. So we're this close to finalizing that. Once that does get finalized, we'll send that out, and if we can't get someone, then we're just going to change plans.
But do save the date for February 20th, 1 to 3 at the North Side Library. Things that I sent you in your email, winter warming centers are open, and I gave you a link. If anybody in the audience would like that link, please let me know and I'll send that to you. I also sent out the Snow Warrior Watch link that is active during snow events. You can track like when your street has been serviced, when was last time, and see where they are. There are also senior program updates. I have a flyer for that, and I'll lay it up here if anyone wants to take a photo of it. This is from the Columbus Recreation and Parks, that they are having 5 different sessions at community centers to discuss the updated pricing for senior programs. They want your thoughts and feedback to continue and sustain senior programming for the future. It is through February. We'll leave that here. There is a QR code for you to scan. Also, summer youth program grant applications are available and they are open now. This grant supports summer programs that serve youth ages 5 to 18. Nonprofit organizations delivering programs during summer months, and they close at 5 o'clock Friday, February 13th. They are also having a Black History Month roundtable. I have a flyer here as well. Thursday, February 19th from 11:30 to 1:30 at Dodge Community Center is a discussion on diversity, equity, and inclusion, and they quoted it real life, moderated by Mr. Keith Neal. There will be soul food for lunch, a Black History trivia game, and even line dancing. So you can scan that to attend. And Playbook Columbus draft plan is ready for view. I do believe if you guys remember that they came around and they were gathering community input on what program would be for the Department of Parks and Parks. But the draft plan is ready, but they are still wanting community feedback. So again, it's a draft. So you can look that up, honestly, just Google Playbook Columbus and it comes right up and you can view that and also still share your opinions on there. That is all I have.
Thank you. Any questions for Ms. Biddle? Commissioners? Or neighbors? All right, thanks so much for being here. Easy. Thank you. And Suzanne and Michelle from City Council is here as well.
Hi, everybody. I hope everyone is doing well this evening. Unfortunately, I do have a lot of updates as well, but I will try to be swift with them. First, I kind of want to start with the different hearings we have at council. We have 4 between February 12th to the 19th, and they will be talking about rental registries, as well as our operating budget that we hope to pass at the end of the month, as well as some other individual events too that are going on with council. So affordable housing bond hearing as well, and then a rules and reference committee public hearing. So all of these hearings do take place at City Hall. They are at various times on different days, and if you want to go on our website or go on our Instagram or our Facebook, you can get the details of each single hearing. And then also I have a business card with me as well, so if you would like to speak at any of the hearings, I'm happy to make sure you get that information. But if you just visit any of our social media pages, you'll be able to get all the details beyond those, when they occur, how you can speak, and then of course I'm always at your service if you need some help navigating that, especially if you're not as tech savvy. So that's what we have for hearings this month. And then I'm going to get into some community events. So this Friday, which is tomorrow, the 6th, from 4:40 to 5:30, my team members on the west side will be hosting a coffee and conversations about utilities discounts, so you can know your options. This will have representatives from Columbus Water and Power, Columbia Gas, AEP, and this will just be a great way for residents to be able to go and talk to these different service providers and see what they can do to help lower their utility costs. Although it is on the west side, it's open to all residents in the city of Columbus. So if this is something that you are interested in, or any of your neighbors are, please send it over to them. Let them know that they can go, ask questions, and then be able to leave at any time as
well. So we hope that people will take advantage of that. Also, with the Columbus Housing Bond hearing happening next week, does anyone remember that $1.9 billion bond package that voters passed last November? Perfect. So, City Council wants to hear about what you guys want to do with the $500 million that was set aside for affordable housing in neighborhoods as well. There is currently a survey that is open until tomorrow. That survey is on Facebook and also on Instagram as well. It's a very quick survey. There's like 5 questions, probably like 5 minutes long in general, and it just will ask you what your thoughts are as far as like what should be focused on, with where that money should go, and then you can rank what you would like to. You could rank the different options as well for that. So you might have to scroll down a little bit. You're on the City of Columbus. Do Columbus City Council.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's the same thing for our Instagram as well. Columbus City Council. For that.
If it's due tomorrow, I just want to make sure we repost it.
Yeah. So that's the hearing, and then
is this?
Oh, that's the hearing. The one you're looking for. So if you go, you see where the photos is to the left. There's one, the one right below it. Yeah, there it is. So if you click tiny URL right there, you'll be able to see how long the survey is. But you can repost this and then tell people to click on the link to go vote. Thank you. Yes, my pleasure. And then also, we have a Black History Month celebration taking place on February 24th from 6 to 7:30. Our keynote speaker will be Will Haygood. He's the author of The Butler, and he has a new novel that's also coming out this month. And so he will be coming to give our keynote address, and he may even be doing a book signing. So we welcome all residents to come to this event. We absolutely love hosting people at City Hall. We absolutely love hosting the Black History Month celebration. We'll also have some performances and some food as well. So if you are available 2 weeks from now on Tuesday, please join us and get to meet Will Hager. And then the last thing I have is an update on deer. So I know you guys are not expecting that, and I have a surprise. So I'm gonna give this to you because I know you're very excited. I only brought 10 copies of these because I'm trying to keep it sustainable. So just take a picture if you would like. I'll probably just pass one down to you if you want to pass it around. I'll pass another one down to you guys if you want to pass it around. And then I'll leave the remainders here for whoever wants to take them. There's only 7 left, so get them while they're hot. So, if you guys remember, last year we did a deer survey. We tried to do a citywide one, and we got about 3,500 responses back from our residents. We have almost 1 million residents in our city, right? So, we didn't get as many responses as we wanted. However, for survey standards, we still got a lot of responses. A majority of them did come from Clintonville, and one big promise that we made, because this was an effort spearheaded by Councilman Nancy Day Ockauer. She's the chair of Neighborhoods, Recreation, and Parks, with support from Councilmember Dorrance, who is the councilmember that also covers Clintonville. And one of the promises that we had was that we would post the survey findings on our website so you guys can read about essentially what everyone submitted in their survey. So that is actually up and live. We just posted it this week. So if you go to columbus.gov/deer survey, you'll be able to go on and read about this effort that took place last year, as well as click the link to read about 30 pages of survey results. But don't worry, there are summaries in there, so you don't have to read the entire report to understand what's going on. We partnered with students from OSU to make this happen, and it was 2 different capstone groups, so yes, it took a while, but we finally have that for you guys. And Councilman Nancy Day Ockauer wanted to make sure we hit the ground running to tackle this issue, so we are inviting you all to the Whetstone Community Center on Wednesday, February 18th, to talk about the different deer mitigation options that we would have. So we would discuss culling, we would discuss hunting, we would discuss a no-feed ordinance. We would discuss several options that were brought up in that survey, and we will have professionals there who will talk about all of those different options and answer questions. This is not necessarily saying we are going to go with one of those options, but we just want to make sure residents are educated about what they are asking for, and have that chance with our council representatives and gear management professionals to ask those questions and see what can be done, as well as some current materials on gear mitigation that you can have right now. So maybe that's education on flora and what to avoid planting in your garden to try to help keep deer out. Or maybe that will be information on public health. So if you see a deer foaming at the mouth, or if there's a dead deer on your property, what do you do about that? So we are hoping to provide all of this at that community meeting, and we wanted to invite you guys. We have not posted this community meeting yet, so y'all are the first people outside of City Hall to hear about it. Right. And you'll get an email about it tomorrow. We'll also be posting it tomorrow as well. But that's my update, and it's a late Christmas gift, but it made it on time. There was a whole snowstorm, so got caught up in the mail, but it's here. So that's all I have for you guys.
That's all?
That's all.
It's a great update. Other questions from commissioners? Yeah.
So I wanted to ask if the meeting that you're having for residents for the utility credits, what have you, is that recorded in case somebody can't attend, or is that, how does that work?
No, as of right now, it's not recorded. That is that's good feedback to let my team know for the future. But we're hoping to probably recreate that event, so like Stacy and I could kind of work on it, and we can see about bringing it like literally into Clintonville. Especially if you guys know like a group of residents you know for sure will turn out, we can try to work on that with a quick turnaround.
I think there would be appetite for a Clintonville conversation.
Yeah.
Any other questions from commissioners for Ms. Michelle? Any questions from neighbors? Yeah.
Would you repeat that you had said the 218 for the deer mitigation?
February 18th, yes.
And it's where, no, I'm not. Oh, yeah, I can take pictures.
Yeah, it's at the Whetstone.
That's why we have photos.
Yeah. Any other questions? Thanks so much for being here.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
I see.
Chair, I have one more update.
Of course.
Please save the date, May 6th this year. Zach Klein will be hosting his community safety meetings. I'm not sure if anyone was able to make it last year. Yeah, you were able to go. And so basically, he invites police, different heads of different departments. So last year, refuse was there, code was there, building department was there, Stacy was there, to have neighbors and individuals ask questions about different issues of safety that pertain to Zone 4. So May 6th, I believe they're around 7 o'clock p.m., but I'll get you more information as that time does come forward.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. I see Roxon Park. Is there a Roxon Park update as well? Or if not, it's okay.
I'm the center manager over at Whetstone.
You look familiar from soccer. I would just check and see.
Yeah, I'm the center manager at Whetstone. I guess I'll introduce us to Jeff Shepard, center manager over here. I guess the one thing I could talk about a little bit is the pond.
Sure. I did not mean to put you on the spot, but if there's a pond update, I know folks want to hear it. So.
But I talked to Craig Murphy, who's our deputy director. So it's on time. So they're planning on it being ready in spring, and with water and fish.
That's great news.
Yeah. So and that's probably it. And we're hosting the meeting about the deer on the 18th. So
yes. When do the summer camps and all of the sign-ups start? That's something folks
summer camp registration will be, I want to say it's February. February 24th at 12.
That's a date folks get really excited about, so.
Yeah, they were trying to get the hard copy brochures, but the camp information for like ours and all the other ones it's online on the website. So somebody go to ColumbusRecParks.com, and then at the bottom there's a bunch of little links. There's one that says ActiveNet. Click that, and if you put in camps, it should pull up like every camp that we offer. So,
Thank you.
oh, you're welcome.
Yeah, Commissioner Flack.
I just want to thank you for like the asset you've like helped like cultivate in this community. Like it's phenomenal. As someone who's like the kids go to the camps, the park itself is just like a wonderful asset, and it's been really thoughtful over the years as there's been minor changes here and there, but like just thank you for your leadership and for everyone who does the work to make this to be a really special place.
Thank you. It's a whole team, so we just do our little part at the rec center. But sports and our grounds crew, maintenance, they take care of the park. Those guys do a great job because they have this quadrant, so they don't only just take care of Whetstone, they take care of every park in this area. So they're up in Antrim, Freeport, everywhere. So yeah, thanks. And there's some other stuff that's going to be done too. They finished the North Meadow down there. They're also looking at doing some stuff at the Ball Diamonds. And then there's going to be some work at the center. It's more infrastructure, so it's not anything that's going to be noticeable, but like updating our HVAC controls. So that building it's a 1956 building, retrofitted in 2008, and it's 2025 or 26. So they're trying to give us some more controls so that we can control the room temperatures. Because if you've ever been in there, we got some rooms that's super hot, and there's rooms that's freezing cold, and we can't really adjust the temperature that much with the thermostat. So they're going to update that so that we can have a little bit more control. All right.
Thanks so much for being here. Commissioner Wyman? I think Commissioner Wyman has a question too.
Yeah, real quick. Did they ever get the funds for the lighting for the ball field?
Yeah, I did talk to Craig. So it sounds like NCIL got a grant from the state. So he was saying it sounds like they're going to start working on those.
We wrote a support letter and we never heard
So I
about
don't
one.
know if it's like going to be this spring or this summer, this fall.
Good news all around from your department. Thank you. Thanks for being here.
Mm-hmm.
Did I miss any representatives from the city? Any other departments?
Water and power.
Oh, yeah, yes, you're next on the agenda. I have you as a standalone item. Yes, water and power, welcome. We've got 2 updates from water and power. You all are welcome to come up whenever you're ready.
You go first. Okay, cool. All right. Well, good evening, everyone.
You brought the photos.
My name is Kevin Nisley. I'm with the City of Columbus Division of Water. Wanted to give you an update on our enhanced meter project. If you've never heard of that, the city is upgrading every single water and power meter in our service area. On the water side, that's 300,000 plus meters. On the power side, it's about 19,000 meters. The meters out there, they're just getting old. They're a mechanical device, just like any other mechanical device that you deal with, whether it's your car, your phone, anything like that. Over time, they just have a lifespan. And so the ones that are out there, they've hit their useful lifespan, so it's time to upgrade them. And since there are so many meters out there in our service area, it's hard for our team of roughly 70 meter technicians that we have employed directly for the city for us to do all of those change outs and still provide other levels of service that we do. So we've hired a company to perform the change out work for us. It's Vepo Metering. So the project is moving throughout our whole service area. We've already installed about 175,000 meters, so we're about 58% of the way through. Within the next, say, week or two, folks in Clintonville, especially the northern part of Clintonville, will get a pamphlet in the mail asking you to schedule an appointment. There's a whole series of contact attempts that the project will make in order so we can get an appointment and get your meter changed out. The first one, it's a pamphlet. A lot of times people just disregard it because it doesn't look like it's official. But the second notice that comes out, looks like it's on city letterhead. It's not on city letterhead, but it looks like it is. It's very official. So if you get that, please schedule your appointment. It is legitimate. When the technicians come to your house, they are required to have a City of Columbus contractor badge on them. It looks just like our badge, but it's got like a red, contractor stripe on it. If they don't have that, you can tell them, hey, leave. I don't want you here. It's usually pretty simple, pretty straightforward. We do have to schedule appointments because your water metering system has two components. It's got a meter itself, which is inside your home. Most likely if you have a home, it's probably in the basement. If you have a slab home, it's probably in a utility closet. But that's inside the property. And then there's an outside transmitter that currently meter readers walk up to and read. Well, both of those components have to get changed as part of this. It's usually a arrival window, so it's a 2-hour window. You can sign up for a notification and get a text message or an email of the technician that is going to your property to perform that work. So it's pretty simple, pretty painless. Hopefully you find it that way. We know it's an inconvenience just because you've got to schedule an appointment, you've got to let us in, but hopefully you find that it's a pretty straightforward process. Any questions?
Is this being done by a certain, can you remind me of the time frame?
So our goal right now is to have the entire service area converted by January 31st, 2027. So the rest of this year, we have to install roughly 125,000 meters. We are on pace for that. We're installing about 2,300 per week right now. So it's pretty high volume work that we're doing.
How long does the work take in your home?
We always tell folks to expect an hour. It can take that long. It can also take 15 minutes. It really just depends. And of that, the water will need to be off temporarily while we do it. That's usually the shortest portion of the install, though. We typically have the water off for about 15 minutes, even if the entire appointment itself lasts an hour.
Do you drain all the water lines in the house, or do you isolate it?
It depends on how the house's plumbing is set up. Clintonville, obviously, you guys have a lot of older homes, but in newer homes, and some we've seen even in older homes, you always have a shut-off right before the meter. In a perfect world, you'd also have a shut-off valve right after the meter, so it's very isolated right there. That's how it is on all new construction. You may or may not have that at your home. Typically, we don't have to drain like everything, including the water heater. It just kind of depends on how the house is set up. So normally, if you don't have those two valves, they'll shut it off at the meter, try to go find a utility sink or something in the basement at the lowest point. They'll turn that on and just kind of let the water drain out and then recharge it.
I have a question. Are you like clustering your work? So if I get a notice in the mail, can I inform my neighbors that this is all coming?
I'm glad you asked that. So they're very efficient. So if you have two ways of scheduling, you can call in and talk to a representative, or you can schedule online. When you go to schedule online, that's what we find a lot of folks do. It'll suggest appointment times for you and actually shows like a green leaf like, hey, please be efficient. And what it's doing in the background is your neighbor may have scheduled an appointment, so it's going to suggest times to you that would make our day most efficient. We've had technicians before complete like installs on like 10 consecutive houses. It was just, that's how it's worked out for them.
Okay, so we have to coordinate that more than you guys send in our letters, because we're picking the time.
Correct. Yeah, you don't have to take one of those times. Like if they don't work for you, obviously you can pick something else that's available. But we do try to be very efficient with it, and usually what we call them meter reading routes. Right now, if something is read manually by a meter reader, it's probably a route of 300, 400, maybe 500 houses. So that route will all get mailers at the same time. In a perfect world, everyone would respond to us right away. That didn't always happen, but yeah, we try to be efficient with it.
Have a rental property where we've gotten like the mail for that. And I will say, and I think like when it does come to our community, it looks like a scam on the front end. So like did not respond to it because it's like, so you get a bunch of these things that look like it. So I will say if there is any way for us to communicate that it is real, it's like helpful. I will say the subcontracting company did not come during the period in which they asked. And it's very difficult when you're trying to coordinate if you're a working person in the middle of the day. I would, if it's possible, I mean, obviously, I understand given the scale, it's not something that the city workers can do, but like as much as we can keep work within like the folks that we can, would encourage it, but obviously I understand given the scale of this, that's not possible. But I will say when they did do it, it was very quick and efficient. And so was appreciative of that. But just because they tell you you're coming from here to here does not mean that they're gonna come. And so you basically have to take like a whole day off of work to basically make sure that like it's done and it is required. So it's a pain in the butt. So any way we can communicate in our community, like it's coming, and to get that part moving would be, I think, helpful for us to communicate out to our community.
Yeah, I like hearing that it was, once they did a good job when they were there, but hopefully it's not the norm where they don't get there in their arrival window. We do track that, and we hold the contractor accountable to it. Sometimes things pop up, emergencies, right? They have a staff of over 100 technicians that are only doing this. So they don't do any other work order. Well, with this weather, you've got 20, 30 people calling in sick, and you've got, a couple hundred appointments on the book. So it can be a challenge sometimes to just navigate that, but we certainly hope that's not the norm for a lot of people.
And then, what's your final notice? Like you guys shut it off?
Yes. Yeah, we will shut off water. Now, that is a very lengthy process to get to that. And to your point about, the letters not looking official, the contractor will pester you so much you will be sick and tired of hearing from them to schedule an appointment. They have a minimum of 7 contact attempts that they're contractually obligated to complete. When if they still don't get an appointment, they turn the account back over to us, and they have to send us a report that shows us the date and time of all of those contact attempts. And if we can vet that all 7 were made, then we will send our letter on our city letterhead that says, hey, we're shutting your water off if you don't schedule this appointment. We have had to do that. We don't like to do that because usually it just results in, hey, okay, I'll schedule, please turn me back on, and we're just right back out there. So yeah, if you can get the message out there, it is legitimate, please schedule.
We absolutely can.
Cool.
We're hard to get the message out. Any other questions? Yeah, Ms. Simbro.
So perfect opportunity would be for the Spotlight reporter to do a nice story about this and maybe a picture of said letter, because everybody comes into the library or the hardware store or a number of places, they pick this up.
Yeah.
And, if you see, oh, wait a minute, I saw that picture somewhere, it might trigger you to, it's just a visual.
Yeah, if you can put me in contact with whoever that can set me up with that.
I think he's right there in the corner.
Cool. Let's talk.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea, and maybe our Facebook page too.
Absolutely.
I don't know if I can go.
Yeah.
I don't answer my door if I don't know this anymore, and
for sure.
I hardly look at mail. It's a 99% junk, right?
The junk mail thing, it's like all of us get so much junk mail now, very little first class. I can see pitching it.
I did.
Yeah, you would be, so we redid the first contact attempt a couple of times. Our public information office at the Division of Water really wanted that first contact attempt to be like graphical, right? And wanted to send that out. We've made updates to that since then. You wouldn't believe how many conversations I had with customers that said, I thought that was a flyer for a new pizza place. And I'm like, it did have pictures and everything on it, but never did we talk about food or pizza or anything like that. But I got that probably a dozen times. Yeah.
We'll do our best to promote and really appreciate you coming tonight.
Very good, thank you. I'll leave some pamphlets here if anyone has it, wants to pick it up and look through it.
Thank you. And I know we've got one more guest from Columbus Water and Power with different content.
Hey everybody, I am College Legal from Columbus Water and Power there. I have a little bit more sunny news. I'm here promoting our Power and Water discount program. Columbus Water and Power has a discount program where you can get up to 30% off your bill. In order to do that, you will qualify in one of two ways. If you are on a number of the public assistance programs, you automatically qualify. Programs such as SNAP, Ohio Medicaid, HEAP, Ohio Works First, or receiving public housing benefits. And as well, anybody making below 200% of the federal poverty level is also eligible for the program. For an idea of what that would look like, a family of three making less than $50,546 a year would qualify. We have a very simple process. I've come with flyers today, enough for everybody. Just scan the code on the back, you put it in, you provide the information about either your income or your receiving of benefits, and that gets processed. As soon as it is approved, you get a credit on your next bill. If it's not approved, they tell you why, what was missing. But we know that right now, a lot of people are struggling paying utility bills, particularly with the rate increases that have happened recently. And we're trying to get this word out as widely as possible to the community. So please take a flyer, give one to anybody you know who's struggling right now paying their bills and might meet these guidelines. We want to help people out too.
We're happy to post this info as well, and
Absolutely.
really appreciate you sharing it with us.
No problem. No problem at all. I will leave the flyers over on the flyer table there. And one, I can also send, we have flyers in English, Spanish, Arabic, and Somali that I can send over for the group.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
Appreciate it. I want to keep moving because we do have a variance item, but first we have the county auditor's office here as well. Thanks for joining us this evening. I think we have lots of take-home papers tonight.
So I'll make it quick. We are going through our board revisions events that's coming up. Can everybody give me a quick picture? We're going through our board revisions, so that's essentially every time your reality of homes changes, homeowners are given the right to come to us and send you a complaint, kind of get some tax away. The way you can do that, again, just come to us, file a complaint, then bring in the evidence. So this really means things ranging from house repairs, really things that you want to repair or have to repair in your home, take pictures of that, or even if you have estimates from contractors, things like that, you put that in, we can get just some tax relief in that case. And then obviously you've done a transfer, and then even if you've done, if you found some comparable rates, so if a similar home essentially in your block or on your street essentially sells for less than what we valued, you're allowed to bring that in as evidence as well. So as we're kind of going through that process, the deadline to do it will be March 31st. You can do it online, we can send you the actual form, you can bring it in or mail it in. Another thing that we've been doing, we did it last year, but we can do it again, is we're doing the mobile flying events, which is essentially, we're going to be at libraries, rec centers, and you're allowed to just walk in. You can do it there, answer the questions, or even if you just want to come in and talk about homestead or anything like that, you definitely come in to say hi to you at that point as well. But yeah, that's really the biggest updates we have. But the one that we have coming up, I left some flyers up here. We're actually going to be here at Whetstone. It's going to be Thursday, February 26th at 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. On Thursday, I think I said that already. But if you guys have any questions, I'm more open to take it around.
Can folks just walk in for those, or do they need to set up an appointment?
No, sorry. Yeah, you can definitely walk in, and like if you miss it, if you miss the one in your neighborhood, you're more than welcome to come and join any other ones. Or like I said, you can come down to the office, call us and we'll try to send you one or whatever. You can also do it online as well. So if you miss it, yeah, you can order in there as well.
Wonderful. Any questions for the auditors team?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Commissioner Clapp was talking earlier about private equity, and say, for example, an institutional investor comes into the neighborhood and buys a house or multiple houses at above market value, cash offer. Does the Franklin County Auditor track anything like that? Because that could potentially elevate, property values in a way that is somewhat skewed if there's institutional investors coming in, offering above market value, and that's ultimately going to have an effect on my property tax.
So actually, right now we're actually doing it now. We're going into the triennial, so that's essentially what it's essentially the halfway mark before the actual reappraisal. We essentially do all sorts of data. We don't really go out and go to individual owners, we just essentially do what's been going on in the past years. So essentially, if a big body does come in, right, then there's the rest of the houses that have been selling on an average, which is 500,000. Do at 500,000. The rest are at 200,000. That's what we're trying to figure out. Again, also, if a house is selling for 500,000 and it's 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, we're not going to look at your 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom and say that's exactly the same. We're going to try to compare those types. And that's fairly easy. So you're not going to really compare to that. So the ones that are being sold, hundreds out of hundreds. But that's where the border relation comes in. We know a lot to tell us why we're essentially wrong.
Yeah. So I guess if we were to notice that, an LLC is buying homes in our neighborhood, can we come to this and say, hey, we looked at what they paid for these houses in our neighborhood. We don't think that the value or that you're taxing my property should be affected by what they are offering.
Yeah, and that's where you essentially want to kind of make sure that it's the same kind of house. It's comparable to your home.
Yeah,
so a house, so the house is essentially like that got bought by, again, 500,000. It goes down to 200,000. Right, you want to kind of tell us why essentially. A lot of the people. I know a lot of people and that's one of the biggest concerns. But that's really what essentially this is for, just to give us an idea of what's really going on in those individual neighborhoods. And like I said, our team will be very diligent about trying to make sure that your home will be, fairly free right? Because I don't know if you have seen it, but we have on our website, I think you go to Franklin County Auditor neighborhoods districts. So it's essentially you're able to see how your neighborhood will essentially look, and you're able to see the average and what's going on there. I think that's the Does that answer?
Yeah. It's a broad subject.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a lot. Like I said, Michael and really the County Auditors Association has been diligent trying to get something from the state, but it's where. It's really up to the state, but for the most part.
I think we have one more question.
I just wanted to say I've been super impressed with Auditor Cinciano's transparency and thoughtfulness for his office. And he's done some really innovative stuff, whether it's about outlining where tax abatements are, or just transparency, in the way that you've described. So I just want to thank. It's been a department that's done some really good stuff, and I know it's not a sexy area, but doing hard work, and so I appreciate you and everyone else who's doing
this. I tell people we really don't have much friends anymore after property appraisal, so I appreciate that.
And it's you don't determine that, but you've just been very transparent and honest about it and been really forthright. So I appreciate the work you guys all do.
Anybody else?
Thank you
I'll
so
also leave
much.
my card if you guys want.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Chair Hardwick, would you like to introduce the zoning item count this evening?
Yes. It's 122 West Henderson, BZA 25161, to construct a turnaround in front of the dwelling, the applicant seeks a variance to allow maneuvering in the area between the street right-of-way line and the parking setback line. And you do have that, that's the revised map. The only negative comment we got was that the original plan was 16 feet from north to south, and it's changed that down to 8 feet. Our only concern was to make that clear that was part of what we wanted to see. That limited, we wanted to see that so that it didn't allow the entire front yard to be turned into maneuvering. We also, I think the vote was 7-1. The only one vote wanted to make it a little bit smaller east-west as well. But our feeling is that the people on West Henderson face, or East Henderson, no, West Henderson face, they live with the lack of a Morse-Bethel connector. They're the ones who paid the price for it, and that it's just simply not safe for them to back out of the street. The only thing I'd also add is that when we come up to the next zone in, perhaps we need to ask the city to take a look at West Henderson and just make a uniform rule so that people don't have to come and pay money and waste their time on something that's pretty darn obvious that they should be allowed to do it.
Appreciate that suggestion too. This feels quite straightforward. Are there questions? Is the applicant here?
I am here.
Is there anything you'd like to add?
I was flipped off twice this week alone for backing out and backing into my driveway. So that was kind of cool. But no, other than that, that's it.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Is the property line shown on there accurate?
So I am not a zoning person. The red, I don't know if the red is the property line though. If it is, that's kind of cool because I now realize I was from my neighbor's driveway. I don't know what that red line is, to be honest with you. I think that is some sort of
What's that property line?
Yeah.
Like a buffer of some kind, yeah. So to be honest with you, I don't know what that red line is.
My guess is that would be skewed, but I was more questioning the 13-foot distance that you measured there from the back of the parking. Yeah.
So that is a schematic that came from the contractors doing the job that overlaid it onto something. So
it doesn't influence my decision.
No, yeah, I don't have a great answer for you.
Okay.
Are there other questions from other commissioners? Are there any questions from other neighbors? Go ahead and take a vote. Commissioner Moritz, shall this pass?
Yes.
Commissioner Miller?
Yes.
Commissioner Saucer?
Yes.
Commissioner Lotta?
Yes.
Commissioner Platt?
Yes.
Commissioner Arnold? Commissioner Wyman?
Yes.
I will also vote yes. Congratulations on the project. You're welcome to stick around for the remainder of the meeting, but it is not expected. Okay, the next item that we have is a recap of our area commission and Rotary Club meeting. Is Mr. Nepoli still here? I think I saw him earlier. I fear he might have left. These topics go hand in hand. Dennis Nepoli lives on Afton Road. He has requested a speed gun for purposes of proving the speeding that's happening in front of the library. He's come out to neighborhood night. He's reached out many, many times and been very proactive about this topic. So he asked to be put on the agenda and offered him space this evening. I worry that he might have left. If he comes back, I'll allow him to offer comments too. But essentially the Clintonville Rotary Club reached out and asked if we could just have an informal conversation about issues that we're hearing as commissioners without any agenda. They just said, let's share who we are, let's find out what you guys are hearing from your neighbors. Because more than 5 of us were able to attend, which thank you to everybody for being so engaged. We were automatically in Sunshine Law, so we promoted it publicly. It was publicly available for anybody to come to Global Gallery and listen to our chat. We did have a current State House candidate for the state legislature come and join our conversation. We did a round robin, and I would love for other folks to chime in, but just kind of big picture, the conversation went largely around traffic calming, traffic safety, speeding, pedestrian fatalities, and vehicular involved accidents. So we decided that we should have, I hate to say this, it sounds like we're gonna have another meeting about the meeting, but we decided we wanted to invite more community leaders and do, as Commissioner Clapp called it, some power mapping of who has platforms in the neighborhood for sharing information and how can we kind of better band together to share resources and ideas around this topic. I think it's come up at every single area commission meeting for at least the last year. I know when Commissioner Lee Osborne was on the commission, this was something she was working on over a decade ago. The accidents in the neighborhood in this meeting is persistent and something I think we are all concerned about. So we are going to meet again on March 14th with the intent of involving more community partners and generating a little bit more tangible content to kind of what this campaign might look like around traffic safety in the neighborhood. So I'll pause there. Commissioner Lada, Commissioner Flagg, Commissioner Arnold, Commissioner Saucer, Commissioner Moritz, most of y'all were there. So if you wanted to add anything else, definitely welcome you too.
I thought it was a nice collaboration. It was good to get to know what their mission is and what they're looking to help the neighborhood, which is, I think is great. I think it kind of evolved back into the traffic issue. Interestingly, Andrew Orbeck used to be on our planning commission. Going on Facebook today, said, "Hey, we have less lanes on High Street now because of all the snow. Why don't we just kind of keep it that way?"
Read that. A natural read that.
Yeah, so I thought that was really interesting comment. I'm watching how High Street is reacting now, and it's not like awful. You know, driving out there, everyone has to be in one lane now. So anyway, that's it.
You know, that just creates more stress when I'm parallel park.
I know.
Commissioner Arnold?
Yeah, I was just going to say it was really valuable to unite and sort of fill that cohesive plan for Clintonville, that we have all these different associations or groups that want to do really good work in Clintonville. So you've got your Rotary, you've got CAC, you've got your other associations, CRC, that if we all band together and we are cohesive with our efforts, we can really get a lot done and not be wasteful and be intentional. So that is very exciting, and get the community involved. It's I think we make a lot of progress. So,
Commissioner Flagg or Moritz or Saucer?
So as well.
The only thing I would add is, like, I think one of the conversation pieces is like, how do we actually build up the Rotary Club? I mean, it's like a very useful like asset that like has some great leaders in it now, but it's still pretty small. So like any ways that we can like support the growth of that organization, I think would be something like would be great, and any other like organizations in Clintonville. I'm still a proponent that like part of the process should be a listening tour where we go and talk to neighbors and see what like where their interests are, and like invite them in to engage in any of these civic organizations that like make Clintonville so special. So I thought it was a great like initial conversation, and I'm looking forward to see where it goes.
Any questions from any neighbors? Open invite, yeah.
You said it's March 14th.
Yes, it'll be March 14th at 8:30 a.m. at, I think it will probably be at the CRC's annex space. Dave Unger, who was chairing the meeting from the Rotary side, is going to confirm with their staff. But I'm happy to send you info once we confirm.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'd love to have you there. And it's, again, public meeting, so anyone's welcome to come, bring ideas. There are things that you want to see happen outside of traffic safety. I think this is a great space to build energy with other neighbors.
Was one of the ideas proposed to put in like a radar gun that just like pop up people's speed and stuff like that? Was that the initial idea?
It wasn't necessarily the initial idea. I think that was one of many ideas that came up. We also talked about built environment, speed bumps, planters, applying for a 614 Beautiful grant. There was this concept, I don't know what the proper name for this is, but almost of like guerrilla community efforts around traffic calming, creating things that make traffic slow down.
So weirdly enough, just moving from a neighborhood that had a road that was just flat and straight for as far as you can see, we had a study come in and do in our neighborhood, and they're like, They straight, I will admit, they warned the neighborhood, don't put the radar gun up. Don't do it. Don't do it. The kids will love it. They were not wrong. They were not wrong. And so we had city police sitting there. City police said when that gun is up, they picked up infinitely more speeders, and the speed was significantly higher than it was before they put the gun up.
Trying to get a high score.
The kids loved it. They loved it. And then we also found out we weren't allowed to put speed bumps in because our road was the main drive for the fire department, and for every speed bump, it slows down response time by 3 seconds. So it's just a poo-poo on that also. The calming strips are awesome though. That was what was like bump outs on the curbs. Was a big win, and then planters in the middle of the road, and like also high vis paint. Is there any way you can like perceivingly like shrink the lanes? It immediately causes people to slow down. So I know enough to be dangerous on it and like sound up, but those are the feedback that we got from the study when we did it. And then I highly regret that we did not listen all the way through, and we put the speed sign up, the speed radar thing up.
Would love to have you at this meeting. And Angela, just like planning and development committee, you can still volunteer too. But truly, I'm not being glib. I would love to have you engaged.
Yeah, I will try to remember. And I just followed this group too, so I'll try to remember to follow Facebook now.
That's great. Any other thoughts from neighbors on? Okay. Any public comment? I don't see Mr. Neppley. I'm going to check out this door really quick. I think he probably was on call this night. Yes, I'll reach out to him. I see Columbia. Yeah.
Hey y'all, I missed you. Happy New Year to my family. I'm back. I'm celebrating. I did not realize that January was not on the 1st until after the fact. I missed y'all, but I needed a little break, so it's okay. Good news tonight. You know, last time I was here, y'all did play around about 700 Morris Road. I took it back to our team. And we have withdrew from City Council's docket, and we are exploring alternative options. What that is, I don't have the answer yet, but as we start to, explore and do investigative stuff, I'll obviously be here every month and continue to give those updates and whatever that looks like. So I think I'm really happy with the outcome of just taking it back, saying it's not going to work. Clintonville is saying it's not going to work, and these are my people, so let's see what we can do. And so it took a little bit of, going back and forth, but I'm happy to report that it's off the table, more to come, and as always, I'm here to support, listen, and advocate for Clintonville as a community. So.
Questions from commissioners for Leah? Appreciate you being here, of course. Any other public comment this evening? Any other comments from commissioners? Going once?
If you want to read a really good book,
Yeah.
grab the Great Columbus Experiment of 1908. It gives you the history of the division of water, and how the division of water basically saved the world.
Is it available at our Columbus Metropolitan Library System?
Might be.
What was the year?
1908.
1908?
So they developed a water filtration system that got rid of typhoid and all kinds of nastiness.
Very cool.
What was the name of the book?
Great Columbus Experiment of 1908. I think the author is Conrad Hines, H-I-N-E-S.
As someone who's looking for a new book, that sounds exciting.
Thanks, Commissioner Wyman. Well, we will do our best to promote all the surveys and info that we received this evening. And with that, the meeting is adjourned.